Okay, I'm gonna do an energetic intro this time because the last couple have been weird and terrible. I'm doing great. Hi, everybody. This is From the Tabletop or whatever. Everybody say hi all at the same time.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Did we
Hi.
do it? Did we
We're
time it?
we're a disaster.
No.
Great. So, um, okay, so we're here. So this is still kind of our like between, kind of campaign arc chapter thing, something or other. But we finished our anchor game, which is very exciting. Because it's fun to actually finish something. Um, and so while we had the opportunity, I figured what we could do is have a little, sort of like a little reward session. And part of that being that we would fly our ship down to the temples where the anchored are, and get some cool things that they've been working on for us. Well, for you, and then yeah, and then we can go jump into the next section of the campaign, or whatever. So, do I have all of you over here? I do. Look at that. So I'm gonna take this right here, and we're gonna fly down here. Look at that. We did it.
Easy.
Easy,
Great success.
easy peasy. Okay, so let's see. You get my list. There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Um, so one of the things that I listening back through, I don't think we necessarily completely addressed specifically, but what kind of what's going on with Kolvar after the big last session we had with almost everybody, um, where you fought the bracelet people, and whatever in the tunnels, and you killed lots of them. Horn broke his shield. Most couple of you almost died. Maybe ringing any
Did
bells?
we? I blocked that part out.
Yeah, no, it was a thing that happened. I mean, it was. I guess that specific session was
Every session we've ever
a
had
little
has been
while
a
ago.
success.
Yeah, that's correct. That's true. Anyway, I mean, I guess specifically like uh Scott, I feel like Mathos and sort of Fawit were sort of the ones kind of in charge of Kolvar. So I don't know if you had, because you had the thing where you like ran in and took his place in his room and let him out.
Oh,
And
that
then
Yeah.
and then
dude.
he like popped somebody's head, and that whole thing. He's the spy, the turncoat guy, from the Armada.
Yeah, he was the guy that we threw in the brig.
Right. And then when people came in to kill him, you killed them all instead.
And
Yeah, he's
earned
Mathos'
his
pal.
And
trust.
he was impressed. So, because his deal before was sort of that, you kind of gave him a talking to and were like, hey, we want you to turn for us, and he was like, I could do that, but I don't know that I'd trust you to keep me safe, kind of a thing, with the ship and stuff. And so now he feels more secure in his safety here. So if you're kind of wanting to keep him aboard as this kind of informant spy person, um, he would be amenable to that. So I was just curious as to what that might look like in terms of how he would be getting folded in, or sort of not, or what. If anybody had any
I mean, didn't I get kind of fucked up in that fight?
You did, yeah. I think you did. Iridia did. I forget if Brack did or not, but
I can't.
Was this the fight in the? Was it like in an alleyway or something?
in the
No,
tunnels,
it was in the
Tunnels.
Foundation, yeah.
And I got sprayed with acid. I think.
Yeah, well, you tried to throw
Your own acid.
an acid thing, and I mean there was the other one like way long time ago that was in an alley where you tried to do an acid thing and got um sprayed with it instead.
It feels like yesterday.
Um, yeah, even though that was like 4.5 years ago or something, I don't even know. Anyway,
I mean, we def should keep this guy, but we also probably shouldn't have like free reign of the entire ship, right?
sure.
Yeah, probably not. But have we taken a long rest? Can I heal?
Yeah.
Is that
At
something
this,
that we've done? Because
yeah,
I'm like
definitely. Oh, are people
very
still?
close
My
to
character
dying.
sheet.
I was trying to find my hit points, and I realized it was down in single digits, and that's why I wasn't seeing them.
Oh, nice, classic. Yeah, no, everybody is back up to
Love that.
full at this point. Okay, good to know. So, yeah. Okay. So the other thing we were talking about doing was because you had a big at the beginning of that session we had like a big kind of roundtable meeting. We talked about sort of who was in your inner circle, um, so on and so forth. And one of the things was that Larsa, the youngest of the three Ricolas siblings, uh, who's the architect engineer, she came in and was like, "Hey, we can try and work on some things, and especially now that you have some builders, some actual crew." Uh, I believe what you had said, based on a couple of her suggestions, um, that you wanted to be working on kind of fixing up some of the areas of the upper village. Where do I have the? No. Yes. Can I? Let's see. See if this will work or not. Ah, look at that. This is the rough diagram of the ship. No. I do want to take that away. So we can,
What do you mean rough? That's beautiful.
you're right. Who am I to say otherwise? Um, some of the upper areas of the sort of village here, so that people could have places to like actually live. Since most of like the merchant people are kind of chilling out in the hangar and all that kind of thing. So I believe that was sort of what the consensus was in terms of what to sort of set them working on. So while we're kind of doing the travel down from Tojeth here to the towers, I figured that would be uh, a good time for people um, to be working on that. So why don't we? I was sort of setting up a kind of a role for this. I didn't like finish doing it, but it basically follows the same formula as um, either of these other two moves that we've been doing for the ship stuff. Like a 10 plus is real good, and you get a bonus, and a 7 to 9, and it's fine. And on a 6 minus, probably something less than good happens or something. So Who wants to make a roll for building stuff?
Any modifiers to this roll?
Let's do so it would be rolling plus quality of the builders. But I will say if people want to help,
Because I also have bend bars, lift gates, and blacksmithing.
ooh, look at that. That sounds greatly helpful. So if you wanna help out, we can add some uh pluses to that. I'll give a +1 for you, and if like 2 other people say they want to help, we can give another +1.
Iridia does stuff like that. So it may be jewelry, but she's also a tinkerer. So I think she helps out building as well, like helps with engineering.
Helps build engineering. Yeah, totally. Dope. Anybody else for a cool +2?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll help out. I don't know if I've got anything that's.
Oh, that's fine.
You're
Um,
captain of the ship.
Captain of the ship.
Of course, it
It
helps.
boosts morale
Yeah.
to see the captain of the ship helping.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and do a 2d6 +2.
Or 2d6. I think this is the.
Sounds right. Nice. It's not a 6.
Wait,
Um,
isn't it +3? So
No,
it'd be an 8.
it would be +2. I mean, that doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah. So okay. So that goes fine. Nothing like crazy happens. But yeah. So there's a handful of the
Fucking one.
handful of the like the houses in this upper village area that are like accessible like underneath of the I have the foundation and village. Yeah, there's the galley and the lighthouse are the sort of the big building at the top of the village here behind the keep. So, kind of down in that area, just doing just some basic, kind of cleaning some things out, making sure things are structurally sound, and giving some areas that people feel like they can start moving into, and all that. Um, what so anybody have any cool ideas for just some kind of flavor of what the I don't like the I guess the architecture or just like the general like layout of some of these areas might be? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, modern all glass.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty interesting. Um, cool. Okay. So yeah. So what else? What else do people think? I guess for people who weren't necessarily involved in that, or even if you were, I guess, what do you think the flight sort of down from Tojeth to the temples looks like? I mean, I guess Mathos, are you is Mathos the one like piloting the ship the whole way? Do you think, or
How long of a flight would it be?
I don't know. I mean, I would. This is probably like, I forget. There was a time that we put on this at one point. Trying to push it to get back to Tojeth when it was moving. I don't remember what that was, but I don't know. I mean, somewhere in the area of like a couple days, maybe.
Because we probably did that shortly after the fight, trying to save our spy friend, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, but
So
time
I would say no, I was not the only
Okay.
one. I either like
Just, like,
Reckless or
passing it
one of
around.
his dudes was helping because I was fucked up.
Well, I don't know that any of the correlation guard people would be. I mean, you've got the whole. I would
We hired
imagine.
so many people.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that you have at least a handful of people in the like the animancers that are doing the sales and stuff that you are, that at this point you like trust enough to pass off the helm to, kind of a deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just curious as to what that.
I'm pretty sure I probably didn't like doing that, but I didn't have a choice.
That you would have preferred you to be the one flying the ship here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
He's just napping in the captain's chair.
Anybody else have any things that they would be think they might be getting up to?
Keep an eye out for more armada ships in the distance. Just in case.
Keeping a watch.
Definitely. Because
Okay.
they've tried to kill us a bunch of times.
It has been a bunch of times at this point. That is for sure. All right, cool. So I think as you're going on this trip, at some point, I think maybe it's Jenna that first kind of comes up with this idea. I think she's been trying to do some things to get some things worked out in her lighthouse, little bar area above the galley. The galley, is it? The galley, yeah. And whatnot as you're going on this trip. But I think she throws together the idea of like basically having like a big party at some point when you get to the temples, because you haven't seen the other copies of you for a while, and
Yeah, that
just
I
trying to
do have a
like what's that?
I do have a question about that.
Huh?
Have we told everyone what, like, if they like go into any of the towers, are they gonna already know that there's a bunch of copies of us in
That
these?
is a good question.
I mean, our inner, like we have people in our inner circle who
Mhm.
we, trust and are on our ship and stuff, but I don't know how many.
Yeah, how many of the rest of your? I mean, there's some of the crew that have been there before because you came back here once before, to get this ship in the first place. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, is that? I guess that would be a question of a thing. I mean, it's if you're gonna like land at the towers, it's probably kind of a hard thing to hide.
Right.
If that's like something you uh kind of bring in the
That's
rest
just
of
where
the
all of
crew.
our cousins live.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we need to tell like everybody on the ship, or
I mean,
do you
I
think
don't
we get
know.
away with telling a select few and being like, "Hey"?
maybe we can just be like, listen, this place we're going to, we're gonna get a sick ship, but fair warning, it's gonna be a little weird.
It's gonna
You're
be a
gonna see
little
a
Don't
lot of
worry
me.
about it, but it's gonna be pretty weird. So
Oh man. Yeah, sure. Great. Um yeah, so I think that kind of uh yeah, that sort of idea I think has been sort of disseminating around the crew, and like people are kind of getting excited about it. Like it's Jenna thought it would be like a good kind of morale boost, kind of a thing, um just to get
I'm all for it.
get a good
We
Good party episode.
Yeah.
So by the time you get down there, people are you've got your the people that are your cooks are like doing all sorts of stuff, having fun in their kitchen, which I think at least a couple of them are like really super excited about, because it is really cool. Um, if you haven't read the description of the kitchens and stuff, it's pretty dope. But yeah, so there's people sort of getting that all set up, and there's this that's sort of like um buzz of excitement that's building, whatever. But the big things that you're kind of getting set up for here when you pull into the hangar. Actually, why don't I bring you back over to this one, right? Yeah. This will be fun for the people who didn't play this game, but here is this game. This is what the temples look like now. There's lots of things going on. Can I do this again? Yeah. Here we go. And it's in there.
Hell yeah.
So
What a vibe.
so you roll up into here, and obviously things are a lot different than the last time you showed up. At this point you had been sort of communicating back and forth a little bit with the people here, so it's not like you don't understand what's going on. But yeah, there's some wild stuff going on. There's a baby now, which is fun. There's a bunch of
Whose
tiny
child is this?
bunch
Well, I
of
think you'll
tiny
find there
orns.
isn't
It's
a
yours,
baby.
buddy.
What?
Wait, who's? Hold on, I gotta look it up now.
We didn't have the baby, did we?
I
No,
mean,
we
it's
did.
named at least.
We had I think it was
We
like
have
the last thing that happened.
Mm-mm.
Daughter of Tomorrow's Brack and Moonrise's Fouet.
Oh, never mind. It was Brack.
I have a child?
You're a dad.
Yeah, what's that like?
I mean, it's not me.
No, I'm for Brack.
I think at this point he's just rolling with the magic.
just going with it. He's like, yeah, well, it's all good.
I didn't do that. That's
Couple,
not me.
couple tiny orns come over and give you high fives.
That's right. I forgot about that.
How small are the tiny ones that come over and give us high fives?
I don't know. Varying sizes. I forget how tall like small we said they were. But anyway,
AJ
yes.
has not responded to the tiny
Yeah,
ones.
tiny orns, and the giant orns in here too. There's the
Yeah.
giant scary ones that nothing really ever happened with them because we ran out of the game ended. Okay, so anyway, so big things are you got this ship, which is a Ferrari of boats, I believe is how we had described it. It's a good boat. So I can add that to your
Good boat.
good boat.
What did we name this boat?
It was an arrow loosed in haste.
That's right.
To go along with, because you
It's
also
fast as fuck, boy.
Sounds
Remind me
like
what
fun.
the stinky purple goo is on the front of the boat.
Yeah, let me run through the cool stuff here.
Who christened
also-
this boat without me?
There's flames on the side too.
Well, the one of the primary people responsible for building it was, which one of these was it? It was Sunset's Mathos. He's in his 60s. I have that he became a quote legitimate ship captain for a merchant company.
Legitimate.
Big hot rod guy, as you can tell.
But he headed up a group of people who taught themselves how to be shipwrights and built this, sort of rebuilt this ship. And it's super cool. But it's like a kind of like a longboat-ish style. It's got these nice sort of crimson foils on it, both on the top and these ones that sort of fan out on the sides here too. And they explain to you that there is a big, I guess it's not technically metal. It's if you remember back to the two cartographers that you guys all fought here. One of them had this a bunch of layers of like armored plating that you had to sort of shred through with the relic laser thing. So they built a basically a giant front, coated the front with like this metal made from that like armor as a sort of a ramming instrument. And so the foils that are all spread out like big fans on the tops and the sides and whatever, the ship was designed to sort of like get going real fast and then tuck all the sails in and dive at something and like burrow into it, like slam into it really hard with the metal part at the front. And then it ejects like a cloud of paralyzing gas that was
That's
distilled.
right. That's right. I
Um,
forget.
that was
Okay.
distilled from these weird bug things.
Yes.
So this is the first time that actual Mathos is seeing the ship, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something about these flames painted on the side. We can't have this.
No, it's to let everyone know we're fast as fuck, boy.
That's right.
How will you
Yeah.
know if we're fast if there's no flames on the side?
It's yeah.
I'm not
That's a good point.
piloting this ship until these flames are covered up.
And it has
That's good. We don't need you crashing into anything anymore.
Yeah, for fucking real.
Well, but aren't you supposed to crash this one into stuff though? I thought that was
That's
kind of
true.
the
Yeah,
point.
but crashing it well
Okay, that's fair.
on purpose.
I don't see any of you guys doing anything better.
Yeah.
Somebody
not
else wants to
crashing it.
fly.
Crashing it into an entire city,
You're more than welcome.
getting us kicked out.
Oh, and it also has the plants on it that's like sort of slowly
Oh, the
self-heal
self.
the boat
Yeah,
overnight
yes.
and
That's
whatever.
right.
That was the other thing.
Yeah,
they
this
had on
boat
here.
is made of some weird shit.
This is some magic in that boat.
And if you try to cover up the flames, the plants will return
The
it to
plants
its natural
will-
state.
What was up with the Oh, okay, never mind. I remember what that was.
the heart?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so then that's the other big thing. They were able to
We got our heart of a cartographer.
got a heart of a cartographer.
Which we needed.
Which you needed. So I think there's probably a big sort of whole thing that people are very excited about. At least a couple of the Iridias want to come sort of be a part of this process of you taking this was the heart from the dealed one. The other, not the armored one, the other one that you killed.
What's is this thing like super sort of fucked up looking or what?
It's
This heart.
so the dealed one was the one that was kind of like had like it could kind of like phase itself out a little bit in a way that made it really hard to hit. And so I think there's a little bit of that going on with the heart, that it's this big thing that's got like little little wisps of kind of incorporeality kind of running through it. It's like if you put one of those like cool animated like shaders on your guns or whatever, it's like that kind of
Nice.
thing. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's also big. I mean, I forget if I gave a reference for how big in the game, but the size of like two basketballs stacked on top of each other or something.
I thought you were gonna say something ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, that's all the best I can come up with. The size of like a decent like desk printer. Nah, so you take this heart and bring it into the mine grove on the ship. And being careful about the way you're working your way through Foundation, because it's there's still the thing down there. And so you get into the mine grove, which again is this big large circular hall ringed by pillars, with a wide shallow basin at its center. From the bare stone of the basin, a web of roots tangle upward into a single enormous tree that rises into the tall, shadowy heights of the chamber. Also residing in the strange but pervading calm that lingers among the rubble of tumbled columns is a creature the size of a large cart, which is the ship, the creature that speaks telepathically, in a sort of weird song-like thing, and says it's a ship. So I think, and there's the kind of fizzled out little sort of relic ball that had been nestled among the roots that Iridia found, with the other Iridia communicating to her that we now know was the crazy version of Yesterweek's Iridia, with her wild ritual. And I think the way that this works is I think you put the heart like in the creature. I think is how it works. Like there's a you go up to it, and there's parts of it that are it's mostly like sort of stone-ish, and kind of like threads of wood and stuff, and little bits of metal kind of grafted into it, so it's got this kind of semi kind of mechanical quality to it. And I think there's a part that you see that kind of splits open, and you put the heart into this creature, and the that green light on its tail like gets brighter, and you see the little relic ball that was over in the roots like kind of float up and float over um to the creature, and I think starts to like just like orbiting around it, kind of gently but lazily. And you hear this thing like in your minds kind of take this big deep uh breath in that again has this sort of like not completely organic quality to it. And I think with this piece of it, this cartographer's heart piece of it, um in a way sort of emphasizes this um this sort of mechanical like constructed crafted quality to it. um and that you hear more of that in the way that it uh that it speaks to you, but it sort of takes this big breath in and then just sort of breathes out, and you can like feel this wave of magical energy kind of uh release like down into the ground and sort of like travels across the room and up through the roots of the tree and into the basin and everything, and uh the room like kind of lights up in a way that trying to think how to you know how things like when things get lit in a way that you can tell is like not um natural, but there's like light coming out of like you can't see where the lights are specifically, but the the space is being lit obviously, um but in a way that doesn't feel completely natural, um if that makes any
Man, we
sense at
got
all.
electricity.
um there's like there's some amount of light in this room, and over the next, you know, day or whatever, I think the creature, you know, tries to explain some things about what sort of has now been able to awaken a lot of the sort of like fritzy nature of things that were happening, sort of settles out, um but there are a number of things that are now active um, in the ship. If you, I'll update all of this in the ship document here on the world anvil, but
What were the other two things that we needed? The blood of a Toberon
the blood of a
and
Toberon and the heart of a cartographer was those two.
oh, it was just those two?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a secret third thing.
Nah, um, there's
Not
not.
that you know about.
Not that you know about.
That's why it's a
Ha ha
secret third
ha
thing.
ha. Um,
We get the heart in there, and the animal goes, Jesus, I meant you needed to make one fall in love with you, you fucking freaks.
Didn't mean it so literally.
it was a riddle.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, so basically, so now there's a lot of basically there's a lot of elements of the ship that are sort of cartographer based, like cartographer technology that has now become active in the ship.
Oh,
So
great.
um so there's a fair amount of like portals and stuff inside the ship
Oh
uh
no.
that you can uh that you can get around the ship a lot easier now. And you know that takes some sort of like figuring out and some mapping, and whatever. The spiral, this big sort of column in the middle of the ship that has that big stairwell that sort of spirals up it. Um,
It's an escalator now?
it's no, even better. The sort of the open column in the middle of that is like this big kind of magical lift basically, so that you can like step into that middle area and it'll like take you up and down. Um
You step in and you say deck 12 and then it takes you there.
and then you're there. It's amazing.
And forward.
10 forward.
um
Make it so,
the
number one.
in the meeting hall,
Get it done.
there's a great circular table carved with strange patterns rests in an open area at the center of the room. The strange patterns on the table uh sort of activate and turn into this basically like a the stone and the wood of the table kind of comes alive and turns into like a live map of the area.
Ooh, I like
Um,
that.
and there's a version of that also that is echoed on the bridge. Um, behind the helm platform is another smaller platform with a railing. Um, also etched with animantic runes, that kind of gets activated. And basically, with a little bit of experimentation, you figure out that that is a kind of a magical version of like a crow's nest in a way, like that you would have a person kind of stand on that little platform and kind of link with it, and then they can sort of uh like kind of project their consciousness like to be a little like kind of bird camera kind of a thing outside of the ship, so you can get a view of things, if that makes any sense.
So
It's like
sick.
the when you press the button that in an Assassin's Creed game that turns you into the bird, and that you can get a view of
Nice.
everything.
Hell yeah.
It's that. And then a small distance behind that is a long, high table carved with similar patterns to the table in meeting hall. So again, that is another sort of like live map, um, that's on a table there in the bridge. Because the cartographers were all about their maps and they liked them a lot. So there's that.
Well,
Wait, is that
based directly on the name, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally in the name. What else did I have in here? In the galley, the kitchens themselves, quite spacious, internally pristine, generally spectacular with number of counters, pantries that somehow replenish themselves. Attached areas, um, garden spaces that spread across a handful of adjacent rooftops. Um, ample. Oh, there it is. Ample storerooms, larders, and cellars connect in a connected as well with one large, rather large one circled by odd runic patterns on the interior walls. It's a magical fridge. Is what it is.
Hell yeah.
So you have a big magical fridge in your kitchen now. And then lifts in the portals. Yeah, and then the big thing that you get here is and I think this one takes some explanation from the creature to sort of even notice. But there is what basically amounts to a like magical deflector shield that is projected around the village section in the back of the ship. Since that would obviously be a pretty big like defensive weakness to be flying around with the city on the back of your ship that people can just shoot at where all the people live. So that area of the ship is now has a measure of protection from direct fire
Hell yeah.
In a way that is helpful.
shields up?
Shields up.
Shields up.
So becoming
Shields
more and
up.
more like the Enterprise every day.
Lieutenant Worf, shields up.
Shields to maximum.
Is that the Kabeshi guy? Is that Worf? It's, your quartermaster?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is that.
Hell yeah, dude. Jesus, if this is just the heart of a cartography, what the fuck is the blood of a Toblerone gonna do for
you
us?
have no idea. As lots of ideas. It's gonna be great. Okay.
Like, yeah,
Let's
you can
get-
just you could
let's
just
get
vaporize.
grilling.
You could just vaporize everyone within a 60-mile radius.
It's a kill button.
It's just a kill. It's just
You
like,
can
Everyone
separate the
drops dead.
saucer from the.
So another thing that I think that is broached either when you get here or shortly after, we can talk about some of the things that maybe go on, but I think at some point Kinnarenth comes and sort of broaches this idea that he's been thinking about, where he understands that the one of the big needs on the ship is for personnel, and so he mentions that he has some familiarity and some manner of connections with some of the here, I'll bring you back over to here. Some of the villages and stuff and settlements that are out in the Gill Wilds that are, sort of, I'm sure there's like some places around this lake and some things, basically the kinds of people that would have been coming here to trade at the trading post, um, and offers that he could sort of strike out and go on a mission, to try and basically recruit some people, and then eventually look to meet back up with you later if that is something that people would be interested, or if you think he would be better served by or you would be better served by him staying with you. He kind of, like I said, sort of broaches that and
What's he? Where's our? I can't remember which page this is on. Doesn't it say which of our? There we go. Hey, crew of the Horizons. Yeah, because he's one of our inner circle, or like our.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if we like called it a council, but that's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the ones that's sort of been around the longest.
Mm-hmm.
For, like I said, for some of you, it was literally the first person you met when you got here. I forget who that even was.
I mean, I guess I
Was that
don't have
Brack
any.
and Iridia and Mathos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds
Probably.
right. I think everyone.
You talk about the first people who
the
came
very,
over.
very first one. Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
group,
we were the three. Yeah,
that were on the ship, and
correct.
yeah. So, does anybody have any thoughts about that? Do we think that would be a worthwhile venture, or would we prefer that he stayed with you?
I mean, I guess if he thinks he can do it safely, but wasn't he also sort of being hunted by the Armada?
Yeah, I mean,
Wasn't that kind of the
he
whole?
was yeah he
Yeah, but he's
was
been hunted before he met us.
yeah, because he originally was like an Armada, and then
Mm-hmm.
um uh yeah.
I mean,
More people
I
joining the
don't have any.
cause
Yeah, I don't
is
have
always good.
any. I don't have any objections as long as he thinks he can, do it safely and not
Yeah.
get himself killed. And
I mean, to like meta a little bit. Basically, what we would end up doing is just doing a roll,
mm,
to sort of see how that goes.
yeah,
So I mean, there is uh the chance that things will go badly, uh, but that would come down to how that goes. So.
Do we think Orn can make it without his therapist?
But part of the reason he was sort of bringing this up now is because he wanted to be able to, like, let's have this party, and then I'll, if this is what we want to do, then I'll scoot after that.
no objections from me.
All right. Well, if
Ditto.
nobody else has any objections, um, let's have a party.
Ooh.
Roll for party.
Roll for party. Okay, bring it back over here. So, let's start by doing this. what yeah, I mean, does anybody have any things they think
What the
nice roll for party?
a D69 is the dumbest shit you've ever come up with. Oh, brother.
16 people die at the party.
Party
but,
like it's 1999.
The entire
There it is.
both
Thank
the
you, Chris.
towers and all of the
You get
ships,
me.
they all blow up.
You get me.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, what do people have any things they think would be like reactions of how, you know, this kind of reunion, I guess, would be going, like how people feel about seeing their time copies of themselves that have, you know, kind of made this place their home in a lot of ways. You know, there's at least one couple that's married and has a baby now, and they've got all this crazy stuff figured out. I think there's
Yeah, you know that cringe emoji with the teeth? I feel
Was
like
that
that's
was that role played out on one of the episodes?
Last episode.
I mean,
last episode.
not
It
specifically.
wasn't role played, but
Yeah, we didn't like role play. We
I
had
thought I might have to go back and re-listen to one of
this
them.
is this
they
is
got
their-
married a while ago.
They got married a while
Yeah.
ago, yeah, and then they jumped off the bridge here. That's what that is. It's part of the marriage ceremony. It was very beautiful.
I think because everything here in these towers is so fucking weird. And just like outside, like we've seen a bunch of weird shit outside of the towers, but it's like the weirdness
Is turned up to 11.
is like
here.
really ramped up here. Yeah, I think that Zahida just tries to find some sense of normality in like is like helping to like cook and like serve food because that's like kind of part of their culture is like food is like a huge thing. So it's like just any sense of normalcy, I think.
Yeah, because there would definitely be some like wild stories flying.
It's like
around
yeah,
and
definitely
stuff.
like a bit of like mothering
lot of
and a
people
bit of like
died.
yeah, a lot of, well, but no, they're just different now. Remember, they came back.
They got erased.
So-
They got erased from existence.
Yeah.
And then oh yeah, and for those of you who weren't in that session, we found out that the noon one is like a weird version of all the bad powers of a crazy Iridia.
Mhm.
Or something like that. So and
So we get the whole "we are them" story.
she went into like a little oil cocoon, and then
Oil.
got like
Oil.
shunted back in time, and then you all
What?
woke her up by
Yeah, we are them,
well,
or at least one of us
this
is them.
one is them, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the noon one. That's the one that you've been chasing around. Is a weird
Thanks, Iridia, for fucking it all up for us.
Classic Iridia.
classic Iridia.
Typical.
Well, the sort of sane now, maybe. Yesterweek's Iridia is still hanging out here. I don't know, like what who was it? Was that Chris? Were you the one that was like did the thing where she
Yep.
like gave up all her power and stuff?
Mhm.
To save the library.
To save the library.
I couldn't remember. Was the library stable now, right? It's not disappearing and reappearing at different random times.
Yeah, it still has that weird like it kind of costs something to go in there.
Unless you're her.
Unless you're her.
It's her library.
It's her library. She's the librarian.
Or
I
with a
guess.
capital H.
She is her.
Yeah.
Work, girl.
Oh, and also that this version of or whatever this kind of half slice of crazy Iridia before was sort of had this little war room here, and that there was
Oh,
a
the trampoline, right?
trampoline. Yes. That there was a mention of Tandara in there, so that there were some kind of plans or something going on. But anyway, that's all fine, I'm sure. Great. Okay, so we're in party mode. There's
Activate party mode.
the galley. All right, let me just give the quick rundown on this galley here, because it's pretty sick. A large building, basically at the top of the village, situated just a bit aft of the keep. Much of the building is in pristine shape, with only small swaths of age running through it. Inside it is a fairly standard great hall with a high ceiling, large windows, and balcony areas running the length on each side. The floor is a beautiful textured hardwood with rows of wooden long tables that appear to grow like roots straight out from the floor. The rafters of the arch ceiling are all made of some wrought metal and echo the root-like structure curling up along stone pillars and into the air. Many of these have little bulb-like protrusions at the tips that glow and twinkle, creating an incredible starry canopy up in the arch of the roof. At the center of the hall on the starboard side, there is a passageway back into the kitchens and a wide staircase leading up to the lighthouse. Kitchens, so on and so forth. And then the lighthouse, which at this point I think is not like fully operational, but like kind of marginally operational. There's probably still some like kind of boxes being used as tables and whatnot, but Jenna has like kind of made her best effort to get this in some semblance of kind of being ready-ish for this party. But situated atop the starboard side of the galley hall, directly above the main kitchens area, is a circular hall with small chambers and balconies branching off from it, as well as a doorway into an open-air garden on a section of the galley's roof. The main space has a tall domed ceiling with a stunning mosaic covering the entire interior, and stands as the highest point in the whole village, with remarkable views down among the rest of the buildings and the enormous foils stretching to either side when fully underway. Hanging from the center of the domed ceiling is a spectacle of a fixture. Situated directly above the kitchen's chimney that protrudes about 6 feet from the floor is a sprawling, three-dimensional, orrery-like chandelier that incredibly responds to the exhaust from the chimney. It appears that different levels of heat will cause orbs in the fixture to glow with different colors and to move in orbits amongst each other. Those paying close attention have also sworn that the colors and intensities of the lights will also respond even to different scents rising from the oven. All this plays magnificently off the mosaic on the ceiling, with various and infinitesimally fragmented surfaces that partially reflect the light. Gina has claimed and titled the space, intending to use it as kind of lounge and gathering space, though it still needs a little more work.
Is this orrery artsy, or is this orrery like the orrery we've seen? Like, is it like functional for something other than?
It's there is functionality to it, but it is functionality in a like a showy, artsy way.
Okay.
This is not
So
like
we don't
it's
need to
not.
worry about this, like,
No, yeah,
becoming a weapon at some point.
no.
Excellent.
It's yeah. There's a thing I'm trying to think of, but I can't at the moment. But it's like like those sci-fi things or like whatever, where they're like using like crazy weird technologies to do like kind of stupid things at fancy parties, kind of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
sure.
are like really ostentatious and
Good. It's good to know that even the cartographers
yeah.
are not immune to.
There's a lot of that kind of little stuff.
They are the rich we're meant to be eating.
Yeah. Good to know that they also made dumb shit.
Yeah. So this kind of party, goes in phases, I'm sure, all through the evening and the night. But there's tons of people. I think I did a sort of rough math, and I think we're somewhere in the area of like a little north of 200 people in the crew at this point. What with all the, I don't think we have an exact number on the merchant core and everything, but it's
Damn, that's more than I thought we had.
it's somewhere in that area. Well, I mean, Scott did the that great, like, what was that?
Yeah, we did a big recruit.
75 people that he pulled in.
Yeah, it was a large number of
Look
people.
at you go, Cap.
Cap. So, yeah. So no. So you've got people now. You've got cooks. You've got some medical people, some builders, couriers, some crafters.
Sick.
More people in the guard. You're like almost up to, I guess, a little, just barely at or over like half capacity for maximum number of like people manning the sails and that
Nice.
animators and stuff like that. So
Do our crew appear to like think any of this shit is like, we think it's weird because we're not from here? What do they what seems to be the general consensus
I
about
think-
about the ship, about the towers, about
yeah, I think you get at least some manner of spectrum depending on the people, and especially here where there's a bunch of people who are getting and or are intoxicated. There's definitely people who are like think this is kind of all sort of weird and scary. There's definitely people who are trying to pretend it's not what it is. Just trying to pretend that it doesn't exist.
hell yeah.
There's definitely people who are, sort of like living it up. Like, if you suddenly found yourself like at a party out of Greek mythology, you'd be like,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, hell yeah, here we go.
Fuck it, make the most of it. Yeah. Okay,
Stranger
excellent.
Drawer, the swarm of small orns that have taken over one of the tables.
I'm trying to, there are probably at least a couple of like people who fancy themselves amateur musicians who are like trying to do some things.
Playing Wonderwall.
Playing Wonderwall up in the lighthouse. Doing that sort of stuff. But I want some party scenes from people. So hit me with some things. I want to know where you are, who you're with, what sort of point of the night you were at, and what's going on.
Just pull up my faction sheet here.
Mathos found a table in a dark corner.
This is all taking place.
Oh
in
god.
the-
Okay, rogue. Okay, dark rogue of the group.
They call that one straighter. So are we taking this is all taking place in the galley, right?
Yeah, the galley, the lighthouse. I mean,
Okay, so it's all over.
As parties are wont to do, I am sure there are some pieces that spill, some groups that spill into, other, especially that now some of the upper parts of the village are fixed up and whatnot. So
Right.
there's a splash zone.
I think Iridia, she's trying not to she's trying not to drink. And so I think because of that, she tries to shy away from the other Iridias. And she's also disgusted by like the manner of all of them. Yesterday's Iridia has like aged, and she can't even look at her because it's herself. And so it's like a terrifying prospect to her. Because at this point she's
like-
older, but she still has her beauty.
Yeah,
And
that would be
That
a pretty
vanity's
wild
coming
thing,
full.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, that vanity
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and I don't know if she necessarily, because she's more of like a, she has to be kind of vain because she's hung out and sold jewelry to like the most vain people. And not is it Tandara, right?
Yeah,
Um, but so I think she finds solace with, probably hanging out away from all of the Iridias. She doesn't really partake in dancing necessarily. I think she tries to keep herself busy, so she spends most of her time cleaning up after people, because
Okay.
festivities are going to get wild, and so she doesn't. She like stares a long time at every bottle and cup that she picks up too, in the process.
So she's
And it,
having a great
When
time. It sounds like.
when,
yeah, I mean, she's
when
she's
people say
enjoying
I bet
seeing
you're fun
people.
at parties, this is what they mean.
Yeah, I think she enjoys watching other people, like enjoying themselves. But yes, I think she's having a hard time reconciling with her own past mistakes,
Mm,
and addiction, to try to partake as well.
mm-hmm.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
Rydia
like a
was an
fight of will.
alcoholic. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's also suffering from mercury poisoning, but she doesn't know it.
I'm assuming that was self-inflicted
Yeah,
accidentally.
yeah, accidentally. Yeah, she does a lot of gilding, and that requires mercury to do. And so it has affected her over the time period, and she's kind of used alcohol to, um, subdue the symptoms. And so yeah, that's essentially what she does. She goes around cleaning. She has conversations with people while she does that. But I think for the most part, she is kind of keeps herself muted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many Iridias are we? So Twilight's Iridia's dead. Is that the only one?
Twilight's Iridia is not dead. Twilight's
She's
Iridia was
erased. Right.
erased from existence.
That's right. It's even worse.
That seems worse.
But we remember everyone that was in here remembers. Do we remember the erased people, like the actual adventurers?
um.
Well, the people in the tower would. I don't know if we personally, the characters, would.
Yeah.
We communicated with these people before we left,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But do we? Yeah. So yeah. Do
So
we recognize that one's missing essentially?
yeah. I mean, I would think so.
Okay.
It probably comes up in a conversation somewhere. And becomes a fun, interesting. Like, yeah, they're all gone. There's what was 5 of them, I think, that got erased
Yeah.
because there are people that had died. But now they've been replaced with 5 other like new and slightly different versions of those people.
Yeah. Can you scroll down real quick? I'm going off of what
Oh,
you're
you're watching
looking
what?
at. Yeah. So Seasons Iridia, I think, is probably the only person that actual Iridia, because she is another expert craftsperson and engineer. I
Mm.
think that's the person that she tries
So,
to,
like, has
even
a
if she
good
is drinking,
conversation with.
like yes, she tries to get a moment of her time and show her the things that she's discovered as well.
Mm.
Well, you don't want to hang out with the brand new child, 12-year-old version of yourself.
12-year-old Iridia?
No,
Yeah. No.
absolutely not. I think that's the thing she least wants to do.
I
Bye,
bet
AJ.
at some point, how did he leave? Bye. I bet at some point, Day Springs Iridia tries to crash your conversation because she is sloshed, like totally gone.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Uh,
I give her that, like,
busybody
Jesus.
Iridia.
Lydia doesn't judge her. She sees herself in this moment, and it only reinforces the fact that does not want to be like, she doesn't want to drink anymore.
and that's not even a euphemism. She literally sees herself.
Yeah, she does.
Man. All right, who else?
I think Brack is in a group of Bracks, and they're all drinking, and it's getting like progressively rowdier about all the crazy ass shit they've seen. Like
You're all
just
just trying to one
swapping
up each other, but
stories.
it's the same shit.
Well, like yeah, like all the tower people are talking about the crazy tower stuff, and Brack is like, "But yeah, you think that's crazy? They were fucking mist monkeys, and like there's giant.
What?
I had to yell at a giant bird."
Oh, the bird.
So yeah, I think they're going through that, and then Brack spots Mathos at his little hidden table, and he brings all of the Bracks over there to drink with Mathos.
You can't stay out of the you gotta you're the captain, man. You
That's
gotta
great. That's how
And
it,
he's my drinking buddy.
that's how it
That's
started.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Just back here watching the crowd.
Now you're part of it, bitch.
Oh man.
Feel like Rock just walked over with all his fucking horn eater pals.
Yeah, I get that reference now.
I know what Horn Eater is.
Congratulations, you are also a nerd. That's great. That's great. All right. Who else?
Is AJ back?
I think yeah, he's muted. I think Zahita's kind of playing kind of playing barmaid, kind of playing kitchen wench at the moment. Like she's taking, anytime one of the cooks or there's like a new keg comes out or something, like she's the first one to like help sort of put food on the table and put drinks in people's hands kind of thing, and like trying to that's the other thing too, she's like trying to suss out sort of what the crew the people that aren't sort of in our inner circle who because we know what they think, and
Yeah.
because they're in meetings with us all the time, so sort of trying to suss out what
the vibe is.
What the vibe is, and like making sure that like things are going well-ish, that there's no like rumblings of, because we got a lot of people here. We got 200 crew now, and we're only five, 6 people, like actual player characters. So yeah, just trying to make sure that the main group, that we're all that there's no weird shit sort of going around about us. I don't think I think Zahida stays out of the drink as much as she would love to sort of partake, but she's kind of playing the room a little bit. Yeah, she's just going around listening, giving people food and drinks, like shaking hands, kissing babies type stuff.
Well, there is a baby to kiss, so
That's right.
I would imagine that that Jenna is probably doing something very similar. Depending upon sort of where you are. I mean, because her, when Mathos and whoever else it was found her, like she was working the bar at this like a pub basically.
Yeah.
And so that's the part of what she was.
Yeah. So we
good at.
yeah we trade
Get
info.
some bonding going on.
Yeah. Yeah, we trade info. What's our guards also, like, have we sort of given them the
Oh yeah, I think so.
night off kind of
unless
thing?
you think otherwise. Maybe Rickless is still like being straight about it, but he
Yeah.
probably would have given so he's still like in his uniform, sort of like
Right.
pacing around.
What's
With straight edge
our
Rickless.
what's our spy doing? Is he sort of out and about?
Kolvar, let's see, what would I feel like
Like shaking down the crew for like playing cards and like trying to
oh, that's cool. Because I mean, one of the things that I have written on here is that he has an incredible poker face. So I think he's gotten part of some kind of like card game or something that's going on up in the lighthouse.
He's like sharking our whole crew.
Maybe with some of the other guards, and they're all doing the thing where he like real coolly like lays out a winning hand, and all the rest of the
Of course.
people around are like, ah! That kind of deal. I bet I bet Javin, the little cabin boy Barblish, is doing the
Right, Javin.
young boy like getting drunk for the first time kind of a thing.
I start watering his down a little bit. He's only 16, like we're putting some water in those drinks.
Amazing.
He's actually just been drinking Shirley Temples all night, but he's pretending to be drunk.
Oh, you know what? I bet also Yuki Bimla Drekwali is also in that card game. I bet that's actually like a really great card game to watch.
They put the 12-year-old Iridia is also playing cards, and she's like doing
Yes!
surprisingly
Oh,
well.
This is the best card game. Oh man. She like
Like,
wins.
I don't get it. How is this 12-year-old so good at cards?
She like wins a hand off of Kolvar. Everybody's going nuts. She's got like a whole crowd of people around watching him.
Five small orns in a trench coat. Yeah.
She wins a hand and takes a shot. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh man. Kinnarenth is probably doing some rounds with a couple conversations and kind of calmly passing around some things, having some good deep conversations with people, and kind of in that air of like someone who knows they're going to be leaving for a bit.
I think another thing, I think Zahida is absolutely floored that there is like we have a couple of like kids aboard because we have like some people have brought their families, right? Like
Mhm.
Rickless,
Yep.
like didn't he brought his like that was like the condition in which so we have like a couple of kids, but I think Zahida is like absolutely floored that the anchor like two of the anchored managed to like have a kid and are like they're like genuinely making like a life like for themselves
Yeah,
here.
I am curious what that what that kind of realization is like for some of you in the party, in terms of like seeing versions of yourself that have that really have kind of accepted this, like, hey, this is what we're doing here now. We're what that feels like to see.
I mean, shit, we're doing it too a little bit. But our our original goal was like, yeah, we gotta find a way back to Tandara. And now it's like we've got a fucking huge ass ship, and there's people trying to kill us all the fucking time, and we're saving other people, and it's like, damn, we're also making a life, for ourselves. It's just it looks a lot different than this. Nobody's having babies anytime soon.
That you know about.
I mean, listen, Brack, if you want to get on that, go for it, buddy. You fucking go for it. You've already done it, and I point to this small baby.
I think Brack's way more interested in the logistics of it, kind of like
Okay.
it. Like
Well,
they can't leave. Can this
when a daddy bird and a
baby
mommy
leave?
bee, when they love each other very much.
And like is it right to bring kids into this world if they can't leave? Like you're dooming a child to stay within the bounds of this spell for its entire life. Is that moral?
Jesus, let's dive into morality. My God.
Let's get a good natalism conversation going here.
I watered down one of Brack's drinks. Like, you know what? You need a little bit of water on this one, I think.
Is Orn here? What's Orn doing?
Yeah. What is AJ in here?
Yeah.
What up?
Very interesting question because there's no other Orns here. So
There
No, there are
there
so
are
many ones
there
here.
are
There-
horns here.
There was a secret stash of horns.
what?
Secret stash! Quite literally.
So one of the later things that we discovered here is make sure you this one, yeah. This little thing over here is like a little pod colony of like tiny orns who are, you know, anywhere from like what did we say, like borrowers size up to like a foot tall or something. And then there's also this there's a couple like giant orns.
Yeah, giant feral orns.
Giant feral
Did I know
orns.
about this? I feel like I didn't know about this.
No, you did not know about
No,
this.
you did not.
Oh.
This was just a thing that we did in the last session of the Anchored game.
Oh.
So
there's
like
these and
a bunch of
big
tiny
meat.
little orns. Yeah, the giant feral orns, zombie feral orns, you know, twisted experiment orn something or others. They stay in this little forest world. But
Only because they can't fit through the door to come kill us.
Yeah.
But the other ones they're out and about. I bet there's some great hijinks going on with like tiny orns like having wrestling matches on the tabletops and people like
Just tiny orns swimming in drinks.
They come in
just
pints.
sitting in beer hot tubs.
Oh Lord.
There's
So
just 3 gigantic arms poking out of the door from into the forest room.
Yeah.
Just like feeling around like a bad Elden Ring boss.
Bad Elden Ring boss.
Lord. So yes, that is the answer there your question. There are orns here, but not
So-
in the way that there are other people here.
So So are they like temperament of the little ones? Are they like the same as me, or everybody's kind of their own different?
I mean they're all over the place. I mean, because the versions of everybody else are you know, they're all these sort of like alternate reality versions of the people. It's like, what if you made this decision in your life instead of this one, and now you're a completely different person, sort of thing. With the orns though is kind of a different thing because they aren't the same in that regard.
It's like
They-
weird cartographer
yeah,
bullshit.
It's like weird cartographer bullshit is exactly correct. So I don't know, like I had been thinking of these like the giant ones as some kind of weird like experimental thing or something, which is you know, whatever. I don't necessarily know if that's the same case. I don't know if anybody really knows if that's the same case with the tiny ones.
You decide, Orn.
But
They're used.
But yeah, I would imagine that if you know, if nothing else, that there are like a bunch of different versions of you know, of them in that regard. So yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Huh.
Well, so would I have known about? Would someone would have told me about this before?
Before you got here,
We didn't know.
I don't think any of us knew, did we?
did they? I'm trying to think when that happened in the process, in terms of when communication happened. But probably not. I don't know. I mean, like, so it might have been a thing that you found out about like when you got here, with most of the rest.
So
of
like
the
I
people.
walk in and I see a bunch of little Orns running around.
Yeah,
They
basically.
all like throw a little tiny mug in the air when they see you, but they're on like top of a table.
Well, so that's my if I think it would fascinate Orn that there are Orns that are happy,
Haha, okay.
Oh,
That's sad as fuck, dude.
God, my heart just shattered.
Listen, D&D is all about torturing your own characters, okay?
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, it's only a small cry for help.
Because they're tiny.
Nice. Yeah. No, because I'm depressed. Can you please? Because someone.
Okay. Got it. Understood.
Yeah,
So
I think he would start by just like observing, and well, I don't. That's weird. I don't know. Cause it's weird. Like I'm caught in a spot where it's like he kind of lost all of the people that were like him. He left, and then was alone
What's up?
and not happy. And now he's got a group of them that are like that are. Look, it was a little Lauren talking. And so I don't. I guess he would see this and be very confused, and then kind of be like skeptical. Like, what is this? Is this some kind of trick? I don't know who Orn would talk to, or if someone would come over and be like, yeah, so this is kind of how that goes.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll leave that up to anybody else. Like, would anybody look over and see Orn and be like, someone should explain this to him?
Well, I mean, I'm sure at some point Kinnaranth is up for having a conversation. I don't know that he would have any more context on the little Orn thing than you
Well,
do.
it would
But
probably be the tower people, right, that would
sure.
explain anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Who
Well, whoever that is, we
Yeah.
just say that happens.
Uh-huh.
And then, so if it's not like a trick, or if it's not like it's real, I think that would be the first thought. I guess he would just kind of like, Orn's kind of just like a follower, so he's just gonna like walk around, and just, I don't know, enjoy it. It's gonna be happy.
Aw, happy Orn. It's
All
great.
he needed was a pod of little versions of himself.
um, I bet Nyla Renthi, the Barblish crafter woman, has some kind
Oh, my fellow blacksmith.
drinking contest with Tongus Bakongus. Both of them. I think they've somehow figured out a way that the human head of Tongus Bakongus is drinking, and someone is also pouring drink down the throat of the animal head, and the three of them are having like some kind of drinking contest or something.
Fucking Tongus Bakongus, the second greatest name in this game.
You know who else is definitely there is Fortnite's Mathos is also a part of that. 100%.
I didn't know they put your skins in the game.
Yeah, dude. Charismatic star athlete. Star in quotation marks.
He was on TV a lot.
Yeah. It's a propensity for athletes explaining things.
Uh, we never decided what he's an athlete, but we didn't say like a sport or anything that he
Doesn't he was a poor sport athlete.
like sport athlete.
Man.
Yeah, he was really good in high school, but in college he got injured. So
He was really good in high school, but he got even better in college.
Hey. Amazing. Cool. All right. So, unless anybody else has any other fun things, I think it's generally a great A great thing. Lots of people have a great time. It's a really good morale boost, just as Jenna hoped that it would be. Um, and then when everybody's getting ready to depart and kind of go back to getting things done,
The tower explodes.
the tower explodes and everyone
We all die.
dies.
Game over.
The end. Um,
At least Orn was happy once.
at least. So the other thing, in addition to having that's not what I wanted. In addition to having the occasional role to do this building thing with Larsa and her builders on the ship, the other thing that I wanted to offer is to basically have something that you could um, uh, kind of have the anchored working on um, in as a some as like a project, which I think is a thing that they at least some of them would be sort of like looking for. Like hey, like it would be good to, for us to have something to put our minds to. We got a couple good projects done, and lots of us had a good time building this boat and doing all
Is
this
our
research and
is
stuff.
our communications like fully like
Oh,
working and set up at this point?
that's a great question. And I think the answer to that is yes. That now you have the little orb floating around with the creature. And I think another piece of this is that uh there is a manner of like a line of communication from the creature to um like people in other parts of the ship. So it's not just like if you want something, you have to go to the mine grove. Like I think this especially to the bridge, like there's a good sort of signal, so to speak, from there to the mine grove, um,
Nice.
and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think the it maybe takes a little bit of some tinkering in things, but you're able to sort of reestablish, kind of recharge that link between the relic in the fountain here, and the relic that is now orbiting
Excellent.
Little Horizons creature. So you have direct communication back and forth between you and the anchored.
Excellent. Then they can tell us, you know, we can tell them stuff and they can tell us stuff and
And it'll be great.
yep.
Yeah, I think for random reference, I think Kinnaren's plan is to probably sort of hang out at the trading post for a little bit, and see if he can like kind of catch a ship or whatever, to go to some of these settlements and stuff to
So
go around and.
we have, speaking of ships, we have two smaller ships in our big ship now, right?
You're correct. Yeah. So you
Okay.
currently have both the arrow and the smoke.
Nice. Excellent. Well, this is a hell of a thing we got going here.
Yeah, definitely is. Um.
Well, I don't have
So,
any ideas for what they should be. If communication is up and working,
mhm.
I have no ideas for what they should be. If the anchor should be helping us with anything.
What were we? What were we working on? What were our last? Oh, I guess we still did have one week left on
More.
the it's a baby project. Um. So I don't know if any of these. They were working on reviving the orrery. Um. Which they had figured out had also some amount of like almost like quasi like scrying power to it, right? Because you could see things in the balls, in the orbs and stuff.
Yeah.
Or if there's other things they want to try and figure out. But yeah, I'm open to any number of suggestions, wild or otherwise, to try and game something out of something these people can
Let me
do for you.
look at the ship page.
You said we're trying to gain stuff out of the people who are at the tower.
Yeah,
At the
basically,
towers.
like to so this would be something like after somebody, like at the end of a like mini arc or something, we can do a roll to see if they do this project that you had been working on, how well it works and whatever, and then you can, that kind of thing.
I mean, all of these
One
all
of
of
the
these
things that I
things we
have
currently have at work.
had in my notes to do in our last session and forgot to do. Um,
Nice.
we found out there was a cartographer war at some point, right?
Sure.
I think that information had happened. Uh,
That's, I
I
mean,
don't know.
it's entirely possible. I'm trying to remember what that might have been.
I'm literally just one random note that said for next session. So this is a project idea I have. There was a cartographer war. Does that mean some of them could be on our side? And figuring out which cartographers, we should then figuring out which cartographers might be on our side, which feels like a library project.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at our like ship page, and a lot of this stuff is like really like pretty fleshed out at the moment. Or if it's not fleshed out, it's not really something that they can. Like our armory is not well outfitted. We're not gonna take weapons from these people. So.
I mean, I will.
We could put them to work, like building an armory, though.
Well, that we
And
have
then we
one
could
is
send
the thing.
right. No, but like building weapons.
Oh.
Or just scavenging weapons and filling it.
Yeah, I mean, like I could see that being a cuz like in the process of building the ship, we had like one project that was building the ship, and then another project that was like tricking out the ship with all this like crazy cartographer magic stuff. Like you've
Mhm.
got your people that are working on stuff. Yeah, like you've now successfully bumped up your correlation guard quality to +1. It was +0 by getting Yuki and the crafters and stuff. So like if you want to go that route, we could do something where like, hey, can you do some kind of like basically give our people magical weapons kind of a thing, like that type of get us like
I think
next level outfitting.
Yeah, so I think we had found the gliding, like the flying apparatus.
Yeah.
That is what Iridia spends her time. I think the moment she hears about that, she wants to be able to replicate this technology, especially the fact that we have like a flying, essentially like a flying city. I think it would be really, really easy for us to, um, get around in it and maybe even bail out, like as a safety precaution.
Yeah, sure.
And I think because we can leave. The apparatus stayed, but I think it's on the map still. I don't know if we ever got it back, but I think it's that northern part of the map, right? There's a little dead body there. Am I wrong? I can't remember. Or did we recover it somehow?
Well, I guess the wingsuit or Yeah, the flying thing would have crashed because he tried to go. One of the Mathoses, I think, tried to go out of the border. It was one of the ones that got erased.
Yeah, they can't leave, but we could get it.
Okay.
Wait, one of my Mathos boys got erased.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's
Well,
back now.
there's a different one now.
Another version.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Noon's Mathos disappears testing the border in one of the gliders. They were trying to test the like the radius of the border basically, and flew too far and disappeared. So yeah, so the glider would still be out there. Crashed, but there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It's all the way to the left, I think. Yeah, I think they got moved off the map. Okay, or where they were on the map. Okay, yeah. So I think we recover that, like the flying apparatus, and
Okay.
I think Iridia sets to. She's not going to be able. I don't know if she would necessarily want to fly it, but I think she would let like Brack or Mathos or Zahida or something. You know, somebody who's like a little bit more brave than she is, like do it.
Okay, so setting them to work, like adapting the
Yeah, adapting and replicating. So I don't know how many
gliders.
we could get out of it,
Yep.
but we try to remake as well. And then the other one was I don't know what we could do, but we've got all that oil, and like true red-blooded Americans, I think we should try to extract it
There's
and use it.
there's oil in them there hills. Well,
No,
didn't
the
she
oil's
take the
gone,
oil with
isn't it?
her?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think-
gone now,
I
right?
think
Oh,
the
that's
oil
right,
is
that's
gone,
right.
Yeah, 'cause she made the.
Wait, who
Oil.
took it with them?
The
Cartographer.
deal, the fucked
cartographer.
up,
The Noon
yeah,
the fucked up
the
cartographer. You're
Iridia
right.
cartographer.
The Iridia cartographer, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Damn it. Okay.
Red-blooded Americans. There's oil in them there hills.
And in the military.
Yeah.
American Army noises.
They intensify.
All right. Well, I'll. So we had mentioned like library cartographer research. Maybe magical weapons or something.
Yeah, Zahida would help with some, she's a blacksmith, and that's like the whole thing about the animantic
Mm-hmm.
blacksmithing stuff is that she can, whoops, didn't mean
You
to
did it.
press that, but I can graft magical powers of a weapon onto my signature weapon.
Ah, okay.
That it can, there's like stuff there that
Yeah.
she can like help with, so
Okay. Cool.
she
cool.
would do that.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. I'll at some point like write up a move, basically that we can use as a, another kind of reward thing, basically to say like, oh hey, you set the anchor to work on this project, and now maybe it's finished or something. Cool. All right. I think that was basically it. Oh, I was gonna, if anybody has any cool room ideas, except yours, Chris. We're gonna save that one.
Like rooms on the
for
big ship.
our first ship.
The search for a room. Yeah. I will dole out a freebie search for a room roll if someone wants to do one. Because I am a kind and benevolent GM.
Are all the rooms on the
Except to
Roll20
me.
sheet?
Well, I mean, if you have an other idea besides that one idea,
Where are all the current rooms located?
on
The ones that we found?
Oh, if you go into the Horizons of Infinite Correlation handout, at the top,
Okay, there.
there's a link to the World Anvil page. This
there we go.
is not.
Yeah, this is the one you were reading off of earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
It needs a little bit of updating at this point, especially since we've turned on the cartography part of the ship.
And the Mine Grove, that's the place that I was stuck in until I found the root of the ship, right, or the computer.
The Mine Grove is the computer area.
It is the
Yeah,
computer.
yeah.
Okay.
The Foundation in general is the area that's the hallways and
Gotcha.
twisty areas. So yeah. So if anybody has any ideas for a room, we could do a roll. Could be a fun thing that happens during the party. Everyone's like, "Hey, I dare us to go find a room while people are here."
I think I grab Brack, and we go looking for a med bay. If we can roll for that.
Med Bay attempt number 2.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys did do that before, didn't you?
Yeah, Brack tried to, and then went on a spirit vision
I
quest
failed.
instead.
I will give
Spirit
in the
vision
help action.
quest. Fuck yeah.
All right.
That's so funny.
So Iridia, why don't you make this move? Roll plus int.
Nice. Easy.
What's your int?
Can't wait to roll a 5. My int is +3, 18.
Plus 3. Okay. Nice. That's like I think as high as you can possibly get.
Yeah, so how do I just straight up roll this? Do you just want me to roll
Just do a
one
you could just do a
2d12 plus 3?
2d6 plus 3, yeah. Holy Lord.
Oh, that doesn't
2
count.
fucking
That's not
ones?
real.
No, that's not real. Roll it again.
That's a glitch.
That's also a glitch.
Wow.
We're only rolling ones.
This is awesome.
This is retribution for the amazing rolls that you all had for that one session.
I rolled 13 out of
1d1.
100.
That's in
Yeah, I think
Is everybody
I think roll
broken?
20's trying to fuck us.
No, I rolled 11. You rolled 12, Zahida. Those are good rolls.
That's legitimately
I cannot believe I rolled a 5 and then a 6. How fantastic.
That's legitimately amazing. Okay, so you go
You don't find a med bay, you find a death bay, and you both die in
you
it.
all die immediately. No, I think you go on this like fun spooky adventure during the party. Some of the people are maybe a little drunk. And you go looking for things, and I'm not gonna take a ton of time on this, but I think you basically have another run in with the remnant in Foundation, and it gets a little spookier than you were hoping it might be. So you still don't find the room, and I think it sort of sours the party vibe a little bit. At least for the people that are around it, and I think it for the overall morale boost that you all get for the party and everything, there is an increasing amount of sort of will among the crew and the people of the ship. Is like, we need to figure out how to take care of this thing. Because it's a problem. So, maybe some of you
The
get
scary
hurt.
thing.
Maybe some of you get hurt or a little bit or whatever, but or you try to fight it off. And so I think the times that you have encountered it, when Iridia, you encountered it the first time, and then when you guys were in the attempted Kolvar murder party session, it found you again that time, and you've been able to like attack it and whatnot, but it seems like you're not really having any effect, or or much effect. Like, it's not like you're not hitting it or anything. Like, it quote unquote feels like you're doing damage to it, but it's not
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like you can see the damage numbers that pop up, but
Yeah.
but its health bar doesn't move.
Bullshit.
Just a lag. It's just it's
Yeah.
just our FPS is
desync.
bad.
Fucking
Yeah.
bullet sponge.
Jeez, come on. So you surmise that maybe there's some figuring out that you've got to do, in that regard or whatever. But yeah, there's people that are like, hey, this is a problem. We need to do something about this, and it's a bummer. Oh, the other thing I was going to give you is I was going to give you another trade roll while we're here, since there's the trading post, since that was the thing. So who wants to make a trade roll?
Athos does.
That seems like a me thing.
Make the trade roll.
What am I rolling?
Quality of the merchant core, which is +1. I will give you the another +1 for total of +2, because this is a very friendly territory, and you have a trading post, because that was a thing that we spent time doing during the
2d6 plus 2 then?
2d6 plus 2 for a trade roll.
Excellent.
13! On a 10 plus, the merchants have fared very well. Morale is high. Increase loyalty by 1 for your merchants and any other groups that depend on pay from the merchants' earnings. Your party receives 1d4 times 10 coins as your cut of the profits. Let me adjust that number because we've got more people now. Why don't I'll take it up to 1d6 times 4. So go ahead and roll a d6.
Excellent.
All right, 50 coins.
Wait, I thought it was times 10. Or no, never mind.
Right? Did I do that right? Am I
Yep,
mathing
you did it great.
correctly? Okay, great. Okay, bumping up some numbers. All right. Okay. And I'll increase the loyalty and stuff. Okay. Well, there we go. This was fun. We had a good time. And now we're done. All right. Now everybody say goodbye all at the same time.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Once again.
We did it.
All of you.
We done did
It
it.
was so good. Yeah. Definitely.
Sorry, I disappeared. My work phone was blowing up. I had to go put out fires.
Okay. Bye.